Okay.
and speed.
What sort of research are you doing at the Institute?
Well, there are many people, researchers working here at the Institute, and I work here too. I work along a number of different lines. I've been interested in superconductivity, substances that carry an electric current without any loss of energy because of resistance, and various other scientific problems, some of which have practical applications. I also spend part of my time together with the other people, most of the other people here in this institute, working on health and disease, trying to get better control of diseases that cause suffering to people, especially diseases that cause people to die young instead of living out their lifespan as one might expect, living to age 75, or I say now living to age 100 or 110 or 115. I believe that it's possible for us to make very great contributions to the prevention and treatment of disease and to slowing down the process of aging by making use especially of vitamins and other nutrients, which have been pretty largely neglected by most medical researchers.
Could you change size, Barry, please? You okay?
Mm-hmm.
How would vitamins help slowing down the aging process, and what sort of vitamins should one take to do it?
A question that we have been working on and are working on, and we've been doing this for about 20 years now, is to what extent could the process of aging be slowed down and disease be prevented and controlled by taking larger amounts of various vitamins. I became interested in vitamin C, ascorbic acid or sodium ascorbate or calcium ascorbate, different forms of vitamin C, all of which have the same protective action, for 20 years, actually for about 25 years, but I began working hard on it 20 years ago. I myself take 300 times the recommended amount of vitamin C every day, and I've been taking this large amount, over half an ounce a day instead of just a tenth of a teaspoonful. I've been taking this large amount for many years now. I attribute my pretty good health to the vitamin C that I've been taking, also to other fortunate circumstances about my life. For example, that I got married in 1923 when I was 22 years old, and it was a very successful marriage. I got along very well with my wife. She helped to protect me against stresses of various sorts for 60 years about until her death. At any rate, vitamin C, I think, when used in the proper way, could slow down the process of aging more than any other step that we could take or know about at the present time. My estimate is that with the proper use of vitamin C, people could live 25 years, perhaps 35 years longer than they live at the present time.
Change size, Barry. Why does vitamin C appear to have such a dramatic effect on longevity?
Well, vitamin C is different from other vitamins in some very interesting ways. I think that we should be taking larger amounts of other vitamins too, but I know more about vitamin C and its effect on aging, slowing down aging, and protecting us from diseases of various sorts than I know about other vitamins. One difference between vitamin C and other vitamins is that you need large amounts of vitamin C. Even the recommended amount that the British and the American governments or pseudo-government groups, Food and Nutrition Board in the United States recommend, are much larger for vitamin C than for other vitamins. 10, 20, 50,000 times greater than for vitamin B12, for example. The reason for this is that other vitamins usually work to speed up certain chemical reactions in the body without being destroyed themselves. Vitamin C gets involved in all sorts of biochemical changes that take place in the human body, and it is destroyed when it takes part in these reactions. So you need to get a large amount in your diet in order that there will be enough vitamin C in your body for these chemical reactions to go on. One of these chemical reactions is producing a protein, collagen, something like gelatin, which is the protein that holds our bodies together, the substance that makes the blood vessels strong and the skin strong and the bones strong and the teeth strong. You can't make this substance without using up vitamin C. So your body is going to be weak in a structural sense if you don't take large amounts of vitamin C. The vitamin C works in producing this protein, collagen. It works in such a way as to make the blood vessels strong. When people used to die of scurvy, sailors sent out by the British on the naval ships or merchant marine ships, after 2 or 3 months of not getting fresh fruits and vegetables, the sailors would die of scurvy. And most of them died by internal bleeding. The blood vessels broke open because vitamin C was not there to strengthen the blood vessels. Another way in which vitamin C works is to keep fatty deposits from being laid down in the blood vessels. It is these fatty deposits, the cholesterol, usually called the cholesterol deposits, that are laid down in the arteries that are the main cause of heart disease. And of course, heart disease is the principal cause of death. Half the people in the United States and half the people in Britain who die of heart disease, and often at an early age, or 30 or 40 or 50, instead of living the standard average survival time after birth of about 75 years. So we need to have a large amount of vitamin C. Another way in which vitamin C differs from the other vitamins is that most animals don't need to have vitamin C in their food. They do need all of the other vitamins just the way human beings do, but they make their own vitamin C. So it isn't a vitamin for a cow and a horse and a dog and a cat and a pig and a rat and a mouse. And they make it. And the amount that they make, an animal my size, a goat for example, manufactures about the amount of vitamin C that I take every day. That's 200 or 300 times the amount that the government recommends for human beings. I remember talking with a scientist, a doctor who was one of the people who set the recommendations for Britons. He was a Scot. He said, I know that people would be healthier if they took larger amounts of vitamin C than the amounts that we recommend. I think he was recommending 30 milligrams a day, which is, as I say, 300th of the amount that I take every day. He was recommending that small amount. He said to recommend a larger amount would require a complete revolution in the eating habits of the British people. So his committee, the committee that he was a member of, was still recommending this small amount of vitamin C, which they said you could get in the food, ordinary diet, if you include enough fruits and vegetables, even though he knew that larger amounts would put people in better health and cause them to live longer and not suffer so much.
How does vitamin C, I can understand that vitamin C could delay getting heart attacks, but how does vitamin C extend lifespan?
Well, we know that every time you go through a period when you are suffering from a disease, there's a shortening in your life expectancy. This was pointed out by a scientist that I knew, a biostatistician who was at the University of California about 35, 40 years ago as the head of the Donner Laboratory of Medical Research. And he gathered together the evidence. Suppose that a person has an attack of let's say, nephritis, acute nephritis, blood in the urine, and then gets over it, survives, perhaps is treated, survives. How much effect does that have on his life expectancy? Well, this was the sort of question that this friend of mine, Hardin Jones, Professor Hardin Jones, asked and answered by studying the statistics. And he found that this shortens life expectancy by about 2 years. And if you have a severe attack of, say, even if you have a common cold, it may shorten life expectancy for a month or two. I don't remember what his results are for the common cold. But if you have cancer, and half the people who develop cancer survive and the other half die, if you have cancer and survive, then your life expectancy is shortened by several years. Professor Jones said, perhaps when we are born with a certain store of vitality, and that every attack of disease that we recover from uses up some of that store of vitality, and then when it is exhausted, you die. Well, that's a rather simple theory of aging and death, that you're born with a certain amount of vitality, and that if you want to live a long time, you should be careful not to use it up. Stress uses up this vitality. There have been several contributions to the understanding of aging. A professor in the United States, Denham Harmon, about 40 years ago suggested that free radicals, chemical substances called free radicals, are responsible in large part for aging. And a free radical is a molecule that has had an electron knocked off of it so that it has a positive charge, and its combining power is changed. It has the ability to hook onto other molecules in the body. If it hooks onto a molecule of cholesterol, it can cause the cholesterol then to be oxidized and have a greater probability of being laid down in the coronary artery in the heart and causing heart disease. This free radical theory is one that my associate Dr. Fleming and the people working with him have been studying in this institute. One interesting fact about these free radicals is that vitamin C and also vitamin E, fat-soluble vitamin E, both destroy free radicals. A high intake of vitamin C and a high intake of vitamin E will help to slow down aging by destroying free radicals as fast as they're formed, or we hope that they're destroyed as fast as we are formed. These free radicals are produced in the body by certain chemicals, toxic substances that you get perhaps with your food or in the air, and by high energy radiation. If you are exposed to radioactivity, that does produce some free radicals in the body and may speed up the process of aging. And these vitamins that have antioxidant properties can destroy the free radicals and help to protect a person against disease. So this is a primary problem or group of problems that we have been working on here and continue to work on in this institute.
Change size, bro. What, for someone who sees this program and decides they want to start taking vitamin C, what sort of dose would you recommend? And isn't it true that the ascorbic acid will burn the lining of the stomach, taken in high doses?
No, ascorbic acid is a weak acid. It's about the same as vinegar, say, not a strong acid. You have a strong acid in the stomach, hydrochloric acid, so that ascorbic acid is not a strong enough acid to have an effect on the human body. And moreover, if you don't want to take ascorbic acid, you can take another form of vitamin C, a salt of ascorbic acid, sodium ascorbate, calcium ascorbate, magnesium ascorbate. Or if you were worried even about ascorbic acid, just taking a little baking soda will, it's an anti-acid, baking soda, sodium hydrogen carbonate. So this isn't anything to worry about. In fact, ascorbic acid is one, or vitamin C, I'll say, not restrict myself to ascorbic acid. Vitamin C is one of the least toxic substances known. I knew a man who took 1/4 pound, 130 grams of vitamin C every day for many years, a decade. He had cancer, and he was supposed to die in a few months from the cancer, metastatic cancer in his brain and bones. He was also a chemist. He used to come in to see me every few months. And he was able to control this cancer for 13 years by this large amount of vitamin C. It didn't cause any problems from toxicity or any other problems. So you don't need to worry about the toxic effects of vitamin C. The one side effect that it has is that it acts as a laxative. Speeds up the motion of the waste products in the intestines so that you get rid of them sooner if you take enough. The amount that I take, 18 grams a day, 300 times the United States recommendation, this amount is the amount that has a laxative action for me. Well, this chemist suffering from cancer was able to take much more than this, nearly 10 times, about 6 times as much, because sick people, it is found, don't respond to the laxative effect of vitamin C the way well people do. This may be a way to allow you to take larger amounts of vitamin C if you are really sick and need to be taking very large amounts. Now, as to the question, if a person recognizes that he can slow down the process of aging and improve his health or her health by taking vitamin C, what should he or she do? You can buy 1 gram tablets. That's about 20 times, 25 times the British recommended amount. One of these 1 gram tablets does a lot of good, one a day of these 1 gram tablets. I usually carry them around in my pocket, and if during the day, I think I've used up all of my tablets, I'll have to put some more in my pocket. If during the day I feel sort of tired, I just take another of these 1 gram tablets. Well, 1 gram a day does a lot of good. It may not be enough to keep you from catching colds, unless you, at the first sign of a cold, take several, 2 or 3 an hour for a few hours to stop the cold. If you take 2 grams a day instead of 1 gram a day, you're in somewhat better health. Or if you take 4 grams a day, you're in still better health. Or if you take 8 grams a day, each time you double the dose, you get an added increment of good health. Well, I'd like to go up to more than my 18 grams a day, but the laxative effect prevents me from taking more. On the other hand, I think 18 grams a day is doing me a lot of good. Also, I recommend that you not buy high-priced vitamin C, a kind of vitamin C that the people who sell it, advertise it, say is better than other kinds. But look at the price. See how much you pay for a 1 gram tablet. You shouldn't pay more than 3 or 4 cents American pennies per 1 gram tablet. Similarly with other vitamins, don't buy high-priced ones because the vitamin seller says that these are better than the cheaper ones.
Do you believe that you should supplement the C with more antioxidant vitamins like beta-carotene and so forth?
Well, I recommend taking the antioxidants, but only the natural antioxidants, not taking drugs, hydroxytoluene, I've forgotten what. There are several antioxidants that are perhaps as effective as the vitamins, but they may have side effects, so I keep away from them. So beta-carotene is closely related to vitamin A. It's a precursor of vitamin A. When you take beta-carotene, it acts as an antioxidant. It also is converted into vitamin A and improves the eyesight and in general improves the health. The advantage to taking beta-carotene over vitamin A is that in large doses, vitamin A sometimes has side effects, not life-threatening, but some people get headaches if they take 20 or 30 times the recommended amount of vitamin A. So I recommend not taking more than 10 times the recommended amount, but to take extra beta-carotene. Then you have vitamin E and vitamin C, also acting as antioxidants and contributing to better health and slowing down the aging process.
How far, if someone takes this regime, what sort of percentage could, or how many years could they add to their life? As a general rule, obviously.
The evidence is not complete about this because there haven't been enough people who have taken these large amounts of vitamin C for long periods of time. I've made a particular study of vitamin C and its effectiveness in increasing the span of life. I've already mentioned my estimate that I believe that a person who uses vitamin C in the proper way, starting early enough in life, can expect to live, at least on the average, 25 to 35 years longer than a person who just has the ordinary intake of vitamin C. How much additional improvement in health you can get with the other vitamins, I'm not sure. Actually, my analysis of the evidence led me to the conclusion that vitamin C alone can increase longevity by 25 years. And when I said perhaps 35 years, I was adding other vitamins, increased intake of other vitamins, and perhaps some other health practices, such as a moderate amount of exercise, or trying to avoid stress of various sorts.
If vitamin C is such a good vitamin to take, why doesn't the United States government tell everybody to go out and take 10 grams of vitamin C a day?
Well, probably for the same reason as, at least in part, for the same reason as this member of the British Committee on Vitamins who said to me, when he was visiting here in California, said to me that he knew that an increased intake of vitamin C led to better health, but that the committee couldn't recommend it because the British people couldn't get it in their food. They'd have to be doing something else. Then the rest of the reason is that there's a sort of bias on the part of the medical and nutritional authorities against vitamin tablets, vitamin supplements. I could never get the amount of vitamin C that I take by selecting foods. It would take 330 6-ounce glasses of orange juice a day to provide that much vitamin C. There's no way I could get this vitamin C except by taking vitamin C as a supplement. I don't take 18 1-gram tablets because I don't want to swallow this much. I buy it as the way you buy 5 pounds of sugar as a crystalline material. I buy pure crystalline vitamin C and take it by the spoonful, just dissolved in water, or perhaps in orange juice to improve the taste. So there is this bias.
We're running out.
A little buzz action now.